We have the most overrated team in college basketball on ESPN Saturday night. This is Brad Powers in the pregame.com studios just off the Vegas Strip. We got a showdown in the Pac-12 on Saturday, UCLA at Arizona.
Top 5 matchup in the Pac-12. Who do you like?
Like Arizona here, and let's call for it. I expect there to be value on the Wildcats here. Let's call my buy price at -4 or less. But let's talk about their opponent. I mentioned at the top of the video, the most overrated team in college basketball. As far as I'm concerned, UCLA. They might be in the top 5 of the AP and the coaches poll, but they're not even in the top 10 of my power ratings. So why are they overrated? Let's talk about it. The public loves betting on teams that have great offenses, and I'll give UCLA that. They are actually #1 in the country when it comes to offensive efficiency, but they're 119 in the country as far as defensive efficiency. And what happens is the public drives their lines up because they love betting on teams that score 90 to 100 points a game. In fact, UCLA just 4-11 against the spread their last 15 games, and we're going to bet against them here. Take Arizona -4 or less.
What a contrast to the start of the year where UCLA opened up 12-0 straight up. More significantly, 10-2 against the spread. They've gone from a Vegas darling to a Vegas stinker. What is causing this?
Well, let's take it back even before the season. UCLA wasn't thought to be a top 5 team before the season, so that 12-0 start was a surprise to a lot of people. But what happened was the public caught on to that hot start, starting betting into their games because they love the high-flying offense. But the reality is they're laying some huge point spreads in the Pac-12, laying big numbers, and they don't have the defense to make the stops to cover those big lines.
Yeah, and I know just last Saturday night they're laying 10 against a good USC team that has given them fits, and they pounded USC, put 100 on them, won by 30. Any chance they might be a little overconfident off of that big win on Saturday?
Overconfident, I don't think, is the factor to key in on here when you're talking motivation, the situation for this game, but I think the revenge factor is going to get overplayed in the betting markets. Keep in mind, UCLA lost the earlier meeting at home to Arizona. Everyone's going to be talking this top 5 UCLA team. They're going to get revenge here. That's a non-factor as far as my handicap.
Your second key handicap.
Second key handicap, let's talk about this UCLA defense. Now, in their last 5 games, you might look at the final scores and say, hey, they're starting to make some improvements on the defensive side of the ball. That is not the case. It's not been good UCLA defense. It's been poor opposition. In fact, if you average rank those 5 opponents that they played in their last 5 games, average offensive efficiency rank for those teams, number 132 in the country. Meanwhile, their opponent for this Saturday, Arizona, they have a top 25 defense.
And of course, with 2 top 5 teams, immediately I look at this almost like a Final Four type game, championship type game, and I think to myself, the old adage, defense wins championships.
No question about it. Final Four type of game, and I got to be honest with you, Fez, if you're going to win games this time of year, late February, March, you got to bring the defense. I even got a stat for you here. Since 2000, every national champion in college basketball has had a defense that rated in the top 40 or better. And again, UCLA doesn't even have a top 100 defense.
Lonzo Ball's father's not going to like that stat. He's not going to like this video. He's not going to like this pick. Let's make it official.
Yeah, let's make this one official. Pre-opener handicap says take Arizona -4 or less. UCLA, for me, the most overrated team in college basketball. They might be top 5 in the polls, but they're not even top 10 in the country as far as my power ratings go. And the most overrated part about them is that defense. It might look like they've been making some improvements as of late. The reality is they haven't played anybody worth a darn on offense. Arizona has a top 25 offense. Meanwhile, add it all up, and I look for the Wildcats -4 or less to cover the spread. More videos at pregame.com.